Right, Nick, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning, defending back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. We're legally obligated to mention that at the beginning of each video. So as we move on to another great offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs, we see the Chiefs once again thinking differently than other teams in the NFL. They're smarter. They're thinking more outside of the box. And this latest player they have brought in to interview, potentially add to the team as well, shows just how far outside the box they are thinking. I think this is a brilliant move by the Chiefs. Let's get into the article and then we can talk more about it on the other side. This is from Arrowhead Pride. It says the Kansas City Chiefs may once again dip into the International Player Pathway Program, or IPP for short, for the 2024 season. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Welsh rugby star Luis Rees-Zammit will visit Denver Broncos on Monday, yesterday, and he will visit the Kansas City Chiefs on Tuesday, which was today. Rees-Zammit, 23, recently ran a 4.4340 at the NFL's International Pro Day. Pretty quick. He's trying out for roles of running back, wide receiver, and kick returner, but here's the kicker, Nick. The 6'3", 209-pound Rees-Zammit is also known for his tackling skills. I think there's some really interesting tidbits in here. I want to know what your thoughts are on this one. But Chiefs fans, in the comment section below, it's been an up and down offseason. You've lost guys, you've gained guys. I think overall they're doing just fine. But let us know in the comment section below, what do you think of this offseason so far? Give it a grade. Let us know what you grade this offseason in the comment section below. But Nick, what are your thoughts on this latest new international prospect for the Chiefs?
I think it's very interesting, but I think it's also important to consider the context, right? For those of you who aren't aware, of course, the NFL's competition committee has released their rule changes based on what the owners have voted on. And arguably the most controversial rule is the NFL has moved another form of tackling into the penalty area. The hip drop tackle has been outlawed. It had a player safety issues. There's a lot of big name players. Tony Pollard of the Dallas Cowboys, Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Andrews, their great tight end, among others, had fell victim due to injuries because of the hip drop tackle, and it is no more. It will be a penalty if it's done during the game. A lot of people in the media, a lot of players, current players, coaches, everyone across the board has just to a man expressed their total outrage. But what do the Chiefs do? And this is what smart organizations do. When the industry is turning, when the tide is turning one way, the losers, the dumb people, they try and fight it, right? Look at the blockbuster Netflix thing. That's one of those great examples in business history. The industry of that was turning, hey, we're going to mail DVDs. We're going to mail VHSs to people. Blockbuster wanted to fight it. They said, no, we're going to stick with our model. Netflix was willing to change and ride the tide. Netflix then moved to digital. Blockbuster says, that's stupid. That's not going to work. Netflix became multi-billion dollar company. They're a dominant force. Blockbuster's been bankrupt for a very long time. The people in the NFL that are fighting this rule, they're the blockbusters. Kansas City's being a Netflix. What are they doing? They're looking to rugby and rugby athletes to learn how to tackle, because rugby has, in a lot of different ways, essentially eliminated the hip drop tackle from their game. Rugby players know how to tackle and make plays without using the hip drop tackle technique. So how do you, as an NFL team, learn to operate within this new rule set? You bring players into your organization, even if it's just a short-term thing, to figure out how they do it and to learn from them and apply it, right? This is next level thinking. Because look, the Broncos, team like the Broncos, they need a lot of help. They could use another playmaker. Do the Chiefs really need a rugby star at running back or wide receiver? No, of course not. But what the Chiefs are doing here is they're bringing in a rugby player to address the hip drop tackle change and how they can learn from him and apply it to the rest of their football team, and maybe even use him in a role like that as well during training camp. And maybe he can make the active roster and contribute. But at the very least, the Chiefs, again, they're riding the tide. They're riding with the industry, learning how to use this new rules in their favor. Again, you don't want to be Blockbuster. You want to be Netflix, and that's exactly what Kansas City is being right here.
Yeah, Nick, and this is a really great move by the Chiefs, and it's not just like a shot in the dark. This is something they've done before. This is something that they've been known to do in the past. Use the International Player Pathway Program, and they got Jason Godric last season, offensive lineman, also known as Chew. He is still on the Chiefs squad. They found him. He was a player from NFL Africa out of Nigeria, brought him over, gave him a try, and he's still on the roster to this day. So I think this is really interesting by the Chiefs because they're serious about scouting talent internationally, bringing them in. And if they can add anything to the team, I think they, latch onto them. And I think this guy in particular, Reese Emmett, really has some interesting value that he could bring to the Chiefs, even if he's just a special teams asset or something along those lines. I think he'd be really, really great addition to this team because of his knowledge in the scheme of rugby tackling. And as the article said earlier, that is one of his strengths in the game of rugby was his tackling prowess. I think it's a really interesting move by the Chiefs, just showing once again they're one step ahead of the competition. They're always thinking outside of the box. And when you have a player as great as Patrick Mahomes, which comes with the salary cap implications of a guy like Patrick Mahomes, you always have to be thinking cutting edge, thinking outside of the box. And this shows once again the Chiefs are doing just that.
And again, I just want to reiterate, I think it's so important because the outrage everyone has had in the media about this new rule has just been incredible. Everyone's just been complaining about it nonstop. And that's why, again, you just see the mentality, the difference between the winners and the losers. The winners look at the paradigm shift, the way the game of football is going to change at the NFL level. And the winners, the Kansas City Chiefs, ride that wave. They figure out how to use it to their advantage. All the losers, they're griping, they're complaining. The first time a penalty is called on them on Sundays this upcoming season, they're going to complain, they're going to moan. The players and coaches are going to be frustrated after the game. The Chiefs, they're going to be prepared, right? They're going to make the opportunities. They're not going to have the penalties called against them. They're going to create situations where the penalties are called for them. And the interesting thing is what's going to happen is people are going to say that, oh, the Chiefs are getting another call, another thing for the Chiefs again. Everyone wants the Chiefs to win. It's rigged or whatever nonsense like that. Really, what it is the Chiefs are just smarter. They put themselves in positions to be successful. It starts not just on Sundays, and it doesn't just start during game week. It doesn't start during training camp. It starts now. It starts in the offseason. This is what the Chiefs have been doing for the past 3, 4, 5 years or so under the Patrick Mahomes era, under Andy Reid's tutelage. They've proven themselves to be head and shoulders the smartest team in football, and this latest move is further proof of that.